Let us begin by reading the word problem out loud. Michelle called a donut shop and placed an order of 96 specialty donuts. When she arrived at the donut shop, 36 donuts were already prepared. The owner said that it takes an hour to make a dozen donuts. How many hours is it going to take for the donut shop to complete her order? Let us begin our strategy for problem solving by analyzing the problem. The first thing we want to do when analyzing the problem is we want to identify the question being asked. In this case, the question is, how many hours is it going to take for the donut shop to complete her order? So now that we know what it is exactly our variable is going to represent, we're actually going to go ahead and assign it. So we'll go ahead and jump to step 2. So we'll let x be our variable, and we're going to let x represent the following. So we're going to have x equals the amount of time it is going to take the donut shop to complete her order. Again, the assignment of the variable is simply the question reworded in the form of a statement. So now let us get back to analyzing the problem. Well, we know that Michelle called the donut shop and placed an order of 96 specialty donuts. So she wants a total of 96 donuts. And we also know that when she arrived, the donut shop already had 36 donuts prepared for her. So she wants 96, and upon arrival there are already 36 ready. So there's a few donuts left over that are still left to make, and the owner tells her that it takes an hour to make a dozen donuts. So in 1 hour, a dozen donuts, or 12 donuts, will be made. So let us go ahead and create an equation using this information. So we'll start off with the number of donuts that she wants. She wants a total of 96 donuts. And that's going to be equal to, well, she already has 36 ready, plus whatever are missing. So how many donuts are missing? To answer that question, we're going to use the following formula. I'm going to go ahead and write it at the very top. And that's going to be that the quantity is equal to rate times time. So in this case, the quantity of donuts that are missing is equal to rate times the time. Well, the rate, that's related to the amount of donuts that are made in a certain amount of time, which we know to be 12. So we know that in 1 hour, we get 12 donuts. And again, that's highlighted in blue, where 12 comes from the word dozen. So this is going to be our rate. More precisely, we're going to focus on the 12. So the rate is going to be 12, and we're going to multiply that by the time. Well, that's actually what we're after. What we want to know is the time that it takes. So that's going to be represented by our variable x. So that's going to be our equation. So let's go ahead and solve the equation. So we're going to have 96 is equal to 36 plus 12x. So what we want to do is we want to get the x variable by itself. Right now we're multiplying it by 12, and we're also adding 36 to it. So the first thing we want to eliminate is always either addition or subtraction. In this case, we want to eliminate the addition. So since we're adding 36, we're going to want to subtract 36 from both sides. So then on the right-hand side of the equation, we're going to have a positive 36 minus a 36. So we're going to be left with 12x. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to have 96 minus 36, which is 60. Now the last step in isolating the x is to eliminate the multiplication by 12. The opposite operation of multiplication is division, so we're going to have to divide both sides by 12, which is the number that we want to eliminate. So therefore, on the right-hand side, we have a 12 divided by 12. They'll simplify out and leave us with 1x, which is just x. And 60 divided by 12 is equivalent to 5. So we have that x equals 5. So we have solved for a variable. So to let us now go ahead and say our conclusion clearly. Since the question asked how many hours is it going to take for the donut shop to complete her order, we're going to state it as the following. It is going to take the donut shop 5 hours to complete her order. So there we go. Our conclusion is simply the question reworded in the form of a statement. So now let us go ahead and check our result by plugging in the value for x into the original equation. So the original equation is going to be the found in step 3. So we have 96 is equal to 36 plus 12x. However, we now know that x is equal to 5. So we're going to go ahead and substitute that in. 96 is equal to 36 plus 12 multiplied by 5. So on the left, we simply have 96, so we'll bring that down. And on the right, we'll have 36 plus 60. And again, bringing 96 down and simplifying the right-hand side of the equation, 36 plus 60 gives us 96. So we have a true statement, and therefore our solution is correct.